Welcome to the Palm Coast, guys. A lot of you have asked me about this area in the comments, and I had never been there before until this trip around Florida. And my thoughts on the area are a little bit mixed. So here's what I think. Just like the title of the video states, what you're looking at is me and Lizzie driving around the Palm Coast area trying to get a feel for the neighborhood, and we're also just going to drive by and look at some houses for sale in the area for a couple reasons. Like, one, they're very cheap. For houses in Florida, the Palm Coast is where it's at when it comes to affordability. There's no doubt about that. You can even get a lot of house for your money here, probably more house than most people need, to be quite honest, for under 300K. And there's plenty of houses here for sale even under 300K, closer to the 200 range. So this is no doubt one of the most affordable areas of Florida. But after a little bit of this video, you're going to be able to tell why. So the Palm Coast, if you look at it on the map, is basically just one giant suburb, guys. And the thing is, it's like a plot of land in the middle of Florida that people just decided to build a ton of houses on, and that's pretty much all it is. There is not a city attached to Palm Coast in the traditional sense. Like, if you think of Miami or Tampa or Jacksonville, we have like the large downtown centers here, and then the more you spread out away from the city, then the more suburban it gets, and you get areas like this. Well, the Palm Coast is only this part. You don't have the big city attachment to the Palm Coast. And some people might like the Palm Coast for that reason, and that definitely contributes to its overall affordability here. For me personally, I don't really like that because, well, as you can see how much we're driving here, we have to drive a lot just to go visit different houses in the neighborhood here and to just drive by and check out the area. And during this whole trip that you're going to see in this video, not even one time did we really pass like a good strip mall with a bunch of restaurants in them or a bunch of stores. Nothing like that. So everything that you need is kind of far away, and this area is highly car dependent. And obviously I know if I'm going to move into a house, I need to have a car. That's a given. Most people realize that. However, things are just a little too spread out here for my taste. It's nice to have the bigger yard and, a good sized house for the money. But to be honest, I really don't want to drive 15, 20, or even half an hour drive to go to the store or go to a restaurant or anything like that. When I grew up in Illinois, it was like that. And that's just a little bit too isolated for me, a little bit too removed. I don't mind living in a house, but I want to be 5 minutes down the road from a Dairy Queen or, Culver's or, a nice steakhouse, whatever. I don't want to have to make it a whole ordeal to jump in the car and go far away to visit something. So here's the first house that we decided to check out, and I'm going to show you the Zillow listing right now. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,744 square feet, and the price is $335,000. No doubt on the high side, but still pretty cheap compared to coming from Miami, where I live. And as you can see, it's now pending. And we never actually went inside any of these houses, and it was mainly just because we wanted to get a feel for the area first, and I didn't feel like setting up a bunch of appointments ahead of time, especially since we didn't really know what we were going to be doing. But this house was appealing to me for a couple different reasons. I like that it has the fireplace and that little sunken down cove where you can kind of enjoy that there. It also has a pool in the back, which would be very important for a house that's this far removed from pretty much everything. I mean, yeah, it's about a half an hour drive to the beach from here, but we're talking Flagler Beach, so yeah, you guys already kind of know how I feel about that. But other than that, the house itself looked okay, and it's not like, oh my god, I wanted to buy this house, but it kind of checked a lot of things off the boxes for me. Has like this outdoor barbecue area, nice large 2-car garage, the pool, which I don't really need to have a pool, and to be quite honest, it's kind of expensive to have a pool. We had a pool back in Illinois in the house I grew up in, and they're not cheap to maintain, but If you are kind of far away from stuff like this, I think you probably want to have a pool, especially in Florida. It gets hot. It's nice to be able to take a dip. But the house itself is just okay. And, other than that, I think that it's just too far away from everything, which is going to be the complaint I have about all of the houses I'm going to show you here. But let me know what you guys think about this house down in the comments. So now we're moving on to the next house that was on my list, and I had already kind of looked at some of these houses on Zillow and saved some of them, and then basically just kind of looked at the map and we decided to just go look at some of them. And the first thing I want to mention is I thought by looking at the map, well, Palm Coast isn't that far away from St. Augustine, which is true. It's not that far away. However, it is that far away. And if you're thinking that you're going to live in the Palm Coast and then just go to St. Augustine regularly for all of your fun, and that's not really practical because it's a lot further away than it looks on the map. And I would say it took probably a good 45 minutes to get to this area from the St. Augustine beach, because we literally left the beach and then just went down this way to start checking out the area. And I was surprised on how far it is and how long it took to get here. And, realistically speaking, guys, when you are living in an area like this, you're not going to be driving back and forth to St. Augustine or anything like that regularly unless you just love driving. I will say there really wasn't much traffic. The roads are wide open to get there. It's just far. So that's kind of like the real complaint. And I was thinking, well, it might be cool to live in the Palm Coast, get a cheaper house, a nice yard and all of that, and still be close to St. Augustine. But that really is not the case. We're about to pull up to the next house and I'll show you the Zillow listing and everything like that. But this is exactly why you need to go look at houses in person, guys. I saved this house for months before we went to this area. I thought, oh wow, it's on a cul-de-sac, very cool, nice and private, quiet. Well, look straight ahead. You see, it's right next to a main busy street. And that's something that's really hard to tell on the map, especially if you're not familiar with the area. And this is why I always tell people you really got to go check places out in person to really get a feel for it for sure. Now this one's already sold. I really hate the way Zillow displays the sold listings because you can't really see the pictures anymore afterwards. But this house was really appealing to me because of the size. It's almost 2,000 square feet, and you can see it sold for $290,000, and pretty much right around the time we got there, it sold actually. But this house was on the market for a long time. I want to say it was probably on the market for at least 4 to 6 months before it actually sold. So I was even starting to wonder, well, what's wrong with this house? And then once I pulled up to the listing, I quickly realized, well, it's next to that main street. You got the drainage ditch there. It's not quite as appealing in person as it looks in the pictures, which I wish I could show you guys, but I can't. But you can see it looks like a pretty nice house. Everything inside was remodeled. It also had the fireplace, which was pretty much on my wish list. The fireplace is kind of essential for me if I'm going to buy a house, mainly because if I'm looking in the northern part of Florida, it gets colder up there in the wintertime, and I just love to be able to have that real wood-burning fire at my leisure, basically. And it's just something nice to have, and I really wouldn't want to buy a house without it. And the fact that this place was completely remodeled already, and there was plenty of room in the backyard to possibly build a house to do Airbnb, then yeah, this kind of like really fit the bill for me. And look at the payment, guys. $1,286 a month it would cost to own this house, compared to the $2,300 a month we pay for a 2-bedroom condo in Miami Beach. So this is much cheaper for us to live in something like this, and virtually it would be free to live in if you're house hacking it and you have a guest house in the back where you're Airbnb-ing it. So I'm just trying to give you guys a little insight into what I'm thinking and how I chose these listings. Let's check out the next one. And by the way, it's nice to know we wouldn't need a security system on this house, because the old man next door was definitely keeping a close watch on us after we're sitting in the driveway for a few minutes. You would think this guy was about ready to call the cops, to be honest, and we're just looking at houses, man. But yeah, I guess, it's always good to be vigilant of your property. I just thought it was funny because he kind of reminded me of like those condo commandos, the people who are always around checking every little thing everybody's doing. But anyways, just remember guys, like I mentioned in my video last week, that I do offer real estate services now for anybody looking to move to Florida. Be sure to check out the information in the description. Give us a call or shoot us an email and we'll be happy to help you out. Now I'm going to speed this last clip up quite a bit because we're moving on to the last house in the video, and like I said guys, things are pretty far away here. And even though it's going to move fast like you're seeing in the video, I'm fast forwarding this 4 times longer than it actually took. So yeah, it probably took a good 20-25 minutes to get to this next house from the previous one. And you can see the roadway that we're going on here. There's nothing here. This is all just one residential suburb after the next. And that's what I really don't like about the Palm Coast. Now, if that's okay for you, then you're probably going to love it here because you are really not that far away from the beach and you can still live in a really nice house in a nice affordable area of Florida. And by the way, all of these houses that I'm looking at and showing you guys in this video are not in HOAs because that's another thing that's on my checklist. I will not buy a house that's in an HOA. That's my preference. So you can see a lot of these neighborhoods are not in an HOA. So that's the other advantage to living in this area. And with how crazy the market is here right now, it's nice to know that there are still some places that are affordable here in Florida, but you get what you pay for. You know, if you really want a more convenient spot like I do, you're going to end up paying more money and getting a smaller house. Personally, I'm okay with that because it's what I want, and if it fits the bill, then it's fine with me. But anyways, it's your preference. Just keep that in mind because that's my take on the area and something that you should know about if you're considering relocating here. Definitely come check it out before just buying a house. I would not buy a house in this area sight unseen, specifically for the reason I just showed you in the last listing. Now let's check out the next one because we are going to be pulling up in just a minute now. So here is the last house on our stop. You can see the price is $299,000, basically $300, and it's 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, and a whopping 2,400 square feet. And this was by far my favorite house that we passed by, and if I were to buy a house in the Palm Coast, it would probably be this one. I feel like it just offered the right amount of value. The price was good. The size of the house is perfect. It's got the 2-car garage. And it's a new house because as you can see by this picture here, a lot of the houses are still being developed in this neighborhood. And I just like this one the best. The overall vibe of the area was the best for me. And just the curb appeal of the house. It's just one big fat square house. It just seemed to fit the bill for what I was looking for essentially. And it was still pretty close to one of the main roads, and obviously we know the area is not too convenient, so at least if you want to get out on the main road, you don't have to drive through 2 miles of subdivision just to get out to one. So that was really the biggest selling point of this house. And of course it has the fireplace. It's got some hardwood floors in there. I liked it. It's not a bad spot. But after reviewing the area and really driving by everything and scoping out the area, I would not be moving here. This place is not even an option for me. I'm not going to be considering moving to the Palm Coast. You might feel differently, but that's just my opinion of the area. As always, I would love to know what you guys think about the Palm Coast down in the comments. Are you considering moving to this area? Did this video influence your opinion of the area at all? I would really love to know. You guys know I'm always down in the comments chatting with you, so let me know. In the meantime, check out my next video on the screen, and I'll see you guys over there.